Odds are you've used a solo cup at some time, but how well do you really know this little red cup? Here's Rebecca Olin explaining the Know Your Solo campaign put on by Olin Health Center.
Essentially, the Know Your Solo campaign kind of evolved out of what we were hearing after keg registration, that parties were, basically kegs were becoming less common, and handles of vodka, half gallons of vodka, etc., were becoming far more common. But students were still using solo cups to pour the drink in. So it occurred to me that it might be really tough to know what actually constituted a drink when you were using this kind of container. So we call this Know Your Solo, and essentially we give students an opportunity to pour themselves a drink. Typically we have a variety of different types of alcohol, beer, obviously vodka, rum, and then things like 151, so extremely strong drinks with alcohol. And then we ask them to pour them a drink, and then we measure it. And typically we ask them to pour a drink in a solo cup, and then we pour it into here, which is pre-marked. So for instance, one of the things that we'll ask students to do is check out the percentage of alcohol, because that tells them obviously how much a drink might end up being. This is 40%. Most of your vodkas are. Some will go up to 100, so it's still important to read the label. If someone poured a drink of vodka in here, well, let's do that. It would be right there. Okay, so right there. Now, I'm wondering if people enter a party, grab a solo cup, and pour that much vodka in their cup. So when students are pouring, anywhere from 2, even up to 3 as one drink, thinking that constitutes one drink, and then we measure it out, and often they're quite shocked. The other thing we talk a little bit about is calories, and not because we think people should be calorie counting when they're drinking. It's not, let's not do that. But often, especially women, choose vodka because they believe it's a low-cal option, and it's not. Ounce for ounce, vodka has a lot of calories. Compared to beer, for instance, like we usually think of beer as a high, lots of calories. Drink for drink, it is slightly higher than vodka, but ounce for ounce, much less. An ounce of vodka has 60 calories, an ounce of beer has 12. So obviously a big difference. So that's one of the other things we'll talk about. And then we'll ask them, how many drinks do you have? Like, is this the only drink you'll have for the night, or do you have more? And then we get out the BAC card and we tell them, this is about where your BAC is, let's talk about, is that okay with you? Are there other things you'd like to do differently? Is there a way of backing that off a little bit, maybe slowing it down? So that's what the Know Your Solo campaign is. Now, one of the really eye-openers is, this is a drink of vodka. If you were doing 151, which is 75% alcohol, and you poured that, you would be having a little over 2 drinks. If you poured it even let's say up to that first line, that's 5 drinks. Big difference in concentration. Now let's take beer for a minute. One regular beer, this is 5% beer. That constitutes 1 beer. If you just double that to 10%, then this becomes 2 beers. So again, it's really important to read percentage and read labels to know how much alcohol is actually in what you're pouring, because it makes a huge difference by the end of the night, right?
Rebecca Allen's Know Your Solo campaign has helped many students become more familiar with the popular red cup. It's helped them to remember to always check the alcohol content of their drink of choice before they pour. There are big differences in the percent alcohol by volume measurements between different drinks, and it's important to take this into account when you pour. Next time you use a solo cup, no matter what you put into it, remember to stay safe, check the alcohol content, and enjoy.